Hey, Sooner fans, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Champion Standard Podcast. Rob and Brad here, your normal co-hosts. Looking back, today's episode, we'll be looking back at the Tulane game Saturday. Victory in Norman, 34-19. Got a little dicey there for a little bit. Before we jump into the game, please like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, YouTube. You can see all of our socials down here at the bottom. Love to hear from you. One thing of note I want to mention is just if y'all are just listening to the podcast, you're missing a lot of good content. Rob does a really good job with a lot of videos, a lot of BI dashboards. There's just a lot of content on here. So if you're not viewing and just listening, I just wanted to throw that out there. You may be missing some information that would be helpful to you. A lot of y'all are into that, just like Rob is. He's a stat guy here. Want to thank our sponsors too. Woodworks Distillery. Some of the best gin, bourbon, whiskey, vodka in town. Please go see them. I need to get up there and get me another bottle while I'm thinking about it this week. Go say hi to Dave and the guys.
Yeah.
So, looking back, we have 34-19. We're going to try to have 4 or 5 takeaways each week from the game.
5 takeaways?
Yep, 5 takeaways. Yep, let's.
Yep.
First takeaway for me, I'm going to be all over the place. So I just want to throw special teams. We always just kind of give them a mention at the end. I thought they did a good job Saturday. I felt like it was an improvement over the week before, especially fielding punts. Peyton did a really good job of securing the punts and didn't get us nervous there, looking like he was going to drop a few like he did the previous week. Punting's been really good. And then kicking game, Schmidt's been kicking them in the end zone left and right. I think he was even into the wind, he's still getting them in the end zone. I think he might have kicked one out of bounds there late in the game, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm thinking of another game. But and then Keltner, he made 2 of 2 on field goals, but I'm giving him credit for a third one. He made that 50-yarder, down the middle, and there was a flag, and we ended up punting, but that was a good kick. So
right,
3 for 3. I want to say he's 7 for 8, either 6 for 7 or 7 for 8 on the year right now, which we'll take. And field goals are going to become deciding factors here down the stretch for sure. So I wanted to touch on special teams, and then offensively, definitely made some progress compared to last week. Felt like we were moving the chains better. Arnold was, running a little more decisive. I want to say he had 100 yards or close to it, maybe more. Yep. Really used his legs were a weapon for sure over the weekend. I know some of those were, the play breaking down and him just, taking off. And boy, that one fake he made and took off for 50 yards. I don't know how far it was, man.
Yeah, 47-yarder, man. Yeah, it was a little counter read. They're making that backside pay for all their over pursuit. I'm glad that looking at some of the Temple and even the Houston, it didn't look like they were actually giving him a lot of actual reads, that there was a lot of it was predetermined. That call was definitely a read all Arnold, allowing him to play a little bit more freedom, and he read it right, and he just made him pay for it. And he's got some wheels, man. I mean, he's faster than Baker. Obviously not as fast as Kyler, but he's definitely faster than Baker.
He's in between.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. He's got the wheels.
Yeah, he's fast enough. He can outrun linebackers, but yeah, that some of those DBs are going to run him down.
Yeah,
Especially
we want to get a run game going so that we don't have to use him too much. But knowing
exactly.
that we've got that counter with his legs counter those backside over pursuits. I mean, whew, pretty
Yeah,
good, man. Pretty good.
yeah, yeah. So offense made some progress. Still banged up on the offensive line. Wide receiver rooms are still slowly coming around. Hope to be getting guys back a little bit week to week here coming up. So I felt like overall, I felt like the blocking was better. Obviously, there were some breakdowns, but
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't. It just wasn't a complete collapse like it looked like in the Houston game. With guys just running free the whole game,
Right.
getting in the backfield.
And
And you're right. You touched on it. The running backs are going to have to get some holes, and block better. And if the running game comes around, I just feel like this offense will take that next leap.
yep. And
Obviously, yeah.
we've
Go ahead.
got we've got some film. I've got all the some of the miscues on offense and a couple
Mm-hmm.
of plays where I just a play that I like a lot that Latrell used quite a bit at North Texas, and you can see the playbook expanding a little bit. But O line had some miscues, the backs had miscues, but it is definitely looking much more clear about what they can and cannot do. And Latrell's definitely expanding out what they can, and
Mm-hmm.
it's looking good. It's
Mm-hmm.
building. Like they're improving.
Yeah, you definitely want him to, you know, call a ton of different plays those first two or three games, and he does need a lot of, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Evidence. He just needs a lot of different evidence so he can decide just what you said.
Yeah,
What works, what doesn't.
right.
If it doesn't work
Coaches,
3 or 4 times, then scrap it.
scrap it. We
Uh,
didn't see a jet sweep. Thank God. We're-
first
There's your
time in
evidence
2 years.
there's
Yeah,
your evidence of he's
right.
changing stuff up.
Yeah.
Coaches don't know what they've got. I mean, they have an idea, but you never know once you get in the season and lights come on. Some players
Mhm.
surprise you, and some players kind of are you're like, okay, no, that player's not ready yet. And they're constantly tweaking. I think there's been tweets out there of like how many different offensive line combos that we've had, and we're probably going to have more. We're going to end up having probably like 9 or different, but offensive lines are just figuring everybody out. What do we got? What do we have? What can we run? And in this last game, I thought the first half went really, really good. I felt like Latrell had like a genuine, scripted 20 plays that he knew we were going to run these 20 and these, and we're going to find success, and they did. So yeah, working towards it, man.
Yeah, yeah. Arnold ran better. I felt like his accuracy still needs to between his accuracy and some of the drop balls by the receivers. Those two things. It's another one of those deals. If those can
Yep.
start coming along, offense just gets to take another step forward and keep the defense on its heels. We haven't had. When's the last time we had a completion over like 20 or 30 yards? I can't remember at
Well,
this
I
point.
actually got it right here. We'll look at it later, but we've
Sure.
had 2 receptions over 20 yards, which is dead last in the SEC right now
Yeah, it's
with
dead
Missouri.
last. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
some teams are not really pushing the ball downfield. Kentucky can't because they can't protect their quarterback worth a damn. But Oklahoma, if you go, there was a play. We were in a trip set. It was Petaway's inside slot fade. Petaway beats his guy, and Arnold just could not quite get it to him. And accuracy, a little bit of timing, spacing. You're right. Once we can start hitting those that play like 3 or 4 times a game. I mean, that's all you need is like 3 or 4 times a game, and that DC is going to change. Like he has to. Like he has to change it up. He doesn't want to get beat. No one wants to give up those big plays. That was one rep. Watching back the game, I was like, if we could just get that type of play. They were working real hard in the last game. with Brennan Thompson on those fades, where Brennan Thompson runs that fade and the ball landed in the dirt. And this last one, they were running the post wheel. Outside receiver goes to the post, and then inside receiver runs a wheel route. They ran that like 5 times, and they just couldn't get it. It was that Dion Burks in the end zone. That was a post wheel where they ruled it out incomplete. There was another one on another sideline where Dion was like hanging in the air for like 4 seconds. Remember that on the sideline? Yeah. We've seen him do that. He's got some massive massive hops, but they're really working on trying to figure out the concept that they can attack deep, because they know how important it's going to be through the season is to get some sort of deep passing concept, because when we get here real soon, those defenses are going to choke and take halfway of the field. So right. Opportunity is going to be there, man. Opportunity will be there.
Yeah, I agree. You touched on Seth Luttrell a little bit. I was going to bring him up as well as one of my takeaways. I just felt like he had a lot better game management this past week against a better team. Tulane's better than Houston. They were a fringe top 25 team to start the season. They're a good ball club. It was a really good. I'm glad we had a game like that rather than another. We didn't have that main game scheduled or something last week. It really kind of gave us a good idea, see where we're at, and come out and really, try to play for 4 quarters. The last takeaway I had is the defense. They keep showing up. I just think obviously they had some breakdowns. Fortunately, their freshman quarterback didn't make some of those passes over the top. Just slightly off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I thought they played well, holding Tulane to 12 points defensively.
Yep.
Another good showing. Yeah, that's great.
It's really good.
It is.
That's pretty good.
Every team gives up some, big plays here and there. We're not the only one that does that.
Yep.
Obviously that didn't happen in the Georgia-Kentucky game. That was a baseball score. But and how can we mention the defense and not talk about R. Mason Thomas?
Man, that fourth quarter. We've got all his plays for the fourth quarter.
Gosh. There was a 3-4 plays there on that one drive alone. I'm like, is there anyone else on the field? Because he was a one-man show. I haven't seen anything like that in a long time. Just one guy take over on defense on one possession like that. It was. We see Danny Stutzman. We'll see him make 3 tackles in the row. That's just expected, and that's just the norm. But R. Mason we've talked about him. If he can just get healthy, we know the sky's the limit for that guy. And here he is. He's healthy, and man, just making plays all over the place. But that's my 5 takeaways. So
I
don't know if we want to dive in. Do we want to dive into the R. Mason, or do you want to go into some of the other videos?
No, let's go into the numbers, and then we'll end with our little highlight reel of what we got. But let's go into the numbers real quick.
That's one of the visuals I was talking about, people. You got to watch to see that.
Yeah. So since we were coming off of the R. Mason Thomas, so right now a couple of things that I kind of do differently than PFF. PFF, this is all data from PFF. It's just organized, and we're able to pull from our server and drop it right into a dashboard seamlessly. So one of the interesting things about PFF, their calculation for wins, they don't count batted passes. I don't know why, but they, pass rush, they don't, for whatever reason, count a batted pass as a pass rush specific win. I
Mm,
do because
sure.
it's a failure to the offense, so I don't care that it didn't, technically either pressure the quarterback, hit the quarterback, or made a
That's
move off his platform or
yeah.
sack him. But I noticed that when I was looking at his batted pass wasn't didn't really contribute much to his grade. And ironically,
Mm,
PFF updated his grade from like an 80 something 6 to a 92 manually after the fact. But so he's up there now. He's got here, let me zoom in better. Can't quite see. Make sure that we
yeah,
can see. All right,
got
there
it.
we go.
Mhm.
Um 52 pass rush snaps, a batted pass, 1 hit, 3 hurries, 3 sacks. He got he had 3 sacks in the 4th quarter. So those are his 3 sacks. So he's got a win rate right now of 15%. I call it true win rate because I'm taking into effect the batted passes. But if we go zoom out a little bit or come down here. So here's our pass rush win history at the defensive edge spot. 2020, that's when we had Ronnie Perkins,
Mm,
right?
mhm.
And we've kind of dipped down and now we're slowly making our way back up, baby. So right now we're sitting around 11% as an edge group total
Okay, okay.
snaps, wins, everything. So we're statistically we're seeing it and we're seeing it on the field. So it all kind of makes sense now.
And this is just the edge group only.
This is just edge group. This is filtered edge group and this is the history of OU. So this 24 number is the last 3 games.
Yeah, and we'll stay on the edge group, but I would say our interior line has probably increased in this regard as well this year. Just the eye
You can take a
test.
look.
I feel like yeah.
Let's take a look. Oh, we've gone down. And that kind of would make sense
Huh.
because well, I mean, we can see here. We've got Garrett Grayson Halton, but besides everybody
Hmm.
else, there. I mean, Williams and Terry
That's
haven't gone
yeah.
anything.
That's true. That's true.
So I think it's going to be like it depends on scheme and who has those opportunities. I don't
Mhm.
really see the. I mean, it's really hard for interior, D linemen to get a lot, anyways. I'd have
Yeah,
to look back
if
to what
they're
the 21
if they're
number is.
disruptive, if you could have like a disruptive rate, I've just seen more disruption out of them this year than anything else. Just kind of breaking the play up more than anything. That's all.
Yeah. So that's what we got for edge. Edge is looking good. We're if we've our Mason continues to stay healthy and he produces like that in the 4th quarter, we're looking pretty good at edge. Like we're finally starting to see some production. What do you want to take a look at? I've got run stop. This is interesting. So you're gonna like this. You mentioned Danny Stutzman earlier.
Yeah.
Danny Stutzman
Oof.
has 70 snaps so far, and he has a 25% stop rate, meaning
Yeah.
stop is a failure to the offense. Like it could be
Okay.
a batted pass, a tackle for at the line of
Tackle for
scrimmage,
loss or
tackle
yep.
for loss. I think they count stop anything that is 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. So 2 yard is a
Okay.
stop. That's like a failed quote unquote failed play. 25% of his plays are failures to the offense. That is unreal. So here, let me see if I can filter this back because I was like, that seems really high. And look at that. This is everyone. Let me make sure. I want to make sure that I have this right. Yeah, this is all the backers in the SEC right now. This is
Okay.
the entire SEC. He leads with 17 stops in the SEC backer room.
Wow.
The next guy in front of him only has 11.
I don't even know who Whit Weeks is.
I couldn't tell you.
Terrible name
He
for a linebacker, though. I gotta say.
he is of LSU.
Hmm.
So he is tearing it up. And I think some of it has to do, I mean, a little bit of part of it is I think he's getting some time off the field. I think he gets a little bit of rest now because our rotation at backer is really good. Kobe McKenzie's, out, starring next to him, but you can bring Kip and get, there's no drop off there. So he can come and, spell for a series, get some 0-2 and go back out there and just destroy. But this is an NFL campaign. This is I'm going to get drafted in the second round at minimum kind of year. Backers, it's really hard to get drafted, but he is putting on a campaign right now and he's laying waste to people at least through the first 3 weeks. Let's see what he ranks in the country. You want to see what he ranks in the country?
Sure. And you went to the game Saturday. It was hot, man. Those defensive
It was pretty
guys.
hot.
I
Yeah.
felt like those defensive guys are pretty fresh considering.
He has the most
Wow.
stops in the country at backer. The most. That's pretty wild, man. He's 3 more than this Matt Jones, and let's see, Matt Jones is of Baylor. But I'm telling you, man, but look at his efficiency though. Matt Jones has nearly 30 more snaps than he has.
Click on the stop efficiency over there to the right, and you can see, Danny's still up top, of course.
Yeah, so he's right here.
Yep.
But he also has, look at all the snap count. So if you look at stop efficiency, snaps to how many stops he has, he's clearly the number one backer.
Yeah, stops and tackles. Right now. Stops and tackles is not even close.
It's not close. He is playing out of his freaking mind, and it makes sense. We see it on the field. He's freaking everywhere, man. He's everywhere.
Yeah. You know what I like is the missed tackles is only 3. That's a nice efficiency because he's putting himself there to, in position to, whiff too, and he's not. He's
Nope. Yep.
Yeah.
So take a look at this. Again, this is stopping the run. These are pure run snaps. This is not all snaps. This is specifically run snaps only. And Oklahoma is sitting way up here, and I'll zoom in because of Danny and the rest of the backers compared to the SEC. We're right up here at the top, and I can't even zoom in because there's too many teams. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit better. But yeah, where are they? I don't think my thing here. There we go. But they're sitting right here as the best team in the country at run stop. Or sorry, best team in the SEC at stopping the run. It's pretty awesome, man.
It is.
And it's Danny, man. Danny is leading the way on that. And this is not filtered. This is not just filtered for backers. This is all defensive players.
Okay.
So yeah, he's having a hell of a start to a season. So
yeah, I feel like these first few games we've been at the gun range and we're getting ready to start taking live bullets here this next week. That's what it feels like, no disrespect to our non-conference opponents because we played some, pretty good teams, especially Tulane, but we're getting ready to take live bullets. It's getting real this coming week. We'll get into our Tennessee preview later this week, but I'm impressed. I knew he had the tackles. I knew he had 15 last week, and I don't know what he had this week. So, and speaking of him, he got his Venables recognized him. He got his 300th career tackle. So he moves into a group of guys. 19 other Sooners in history, which if you think of the long storied history of Sooners, that's pretty darn impressive. If you're in the top 20, if you think about it, there have been some guys play for OU at linebacker, and his name is up there now. So
he's getting into legend status, for real. Like this, he continues this pace, he will be a legend along up there with like the Laymans and all the others. Like he's creating his own little legend status, and that's fantastic. So let's move on to the
go ahead. That list I gave you was all positions.
Oh, wow.
The Selmans,
Yep.
Lehman, Bosworth, Rod Schote, you just go back through the history. All of those guys are on that list. So it's not just linebackers. So I
Wow.
just
Yeah.
wanted to throw that out there. Just
Cool.
impressive. Just very
Very
impressive.
impressive.
Yep.
So going through the defensive backs, right now, according to our again, this is PFF data, just reorganized. Deshaun Malone, 10 targets on 60 snaps, gave up 3 receptions for 13 yards. His yards per reception given up is 4.3.
Take it.
That is when you've
Wow.
got edge pressure, you've got a backer group that is stopping the run and an interior defensive line group that's stopping the run, and then you've got corners that are draped over guys. He played really good. I think Connie Walker's playing really good too. Connie Walker is down here.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
he he, he had a couple that got
Mm-hmm.
away, but this is looking good. If we take him out, take out take out Oklahoma. Let's look at the SEC. Let's look at everyone, and let's filter this um, by. Let's see here. 60 snaps, because that's how many Deshaun has. Look at that. Deshaun Malone's right here. Minimum 60 snaps.
Mm-hmm.
He's fifth or sixth, sorry. And comparing to his SEC counterparts. And this is not just corners. This is all position groups. So you got Chris Paul here. That's a linebacker, but if we sort by corner,
Boy, they
look
don't
at
like
that.
showing Lewis Moore's way. Yeah, that's
Look at that. Number 2, minimum 60 snaps, 4.3 yards given up, just
mm-hmm.
as many targets as Devontae Smith of Alabama, just as many targets as J.D. Barron of Texas. He's given up 4.3 yards a reception. That is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good. Really
That's
good.
great. Yeah, that's great. Speaking of that, gosh, I would love to see a healthy Gentry for about 4 or 5 games coupled with Malone. I
Yeah.
really feel like those guys could really do some damage at cornerback position, just shutting guys down. And
I
not to
mean,
mention Dolby, picking up that slot guy. We need to get him back this week.
yep. And one more thing before we move on from uh, just a side note on our defense schematically. We're running a pretty close. I saw right here. Actually, I'll take that. We're playing more zone than man. We're
60-40.
running
Okay.
62%
Mm-hmm.
of zone coverage, which makes sense. We're a very heavy cover 2, pure
Mm-hmm.
drop zone cover 2 team. 38% of man coverage. Those are your 5-man pressures that they're sending a guy. You're manned up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I mean doing good, doing really good. So that's pretty much the defense. We can rip through here on the O line real quick. Pass pro efficiency. This is how many, like the opposite of edge pressure. How much are we giving up on the line? We've got the allowed pressure per group or per position, and left guard came up here at 22%. I look back, that was when we had Sexton at left tackle early
Mm-hmm.
and was not good. Um, so our left guard spots obviously are our troubling area to try find somebody that can play it at a high level and have Sexton play left tackle. One interesting quarterback allowed pressure, meaning putting himself into pressure, is actually the worst
Mm-hmm.
out of all the rest of them.
We,
Arnold's putting
yep.
himself into pressure, meaning he is flushing himself out of the pocket too soon, or he's moving into
Yeah.
himself into a sack or a hit or a hurry.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that just tells me trust. I think there just needs to
Sure.
be trust built
Yep.
and
Yep.
you have musical chairs, but once you get the left guard spot
Mhm.
anchored and you get
Mhm.
guys, you see some actual consistency, your quarterback will sit there, and we've got a play on the film where I'll show you where he kind of, I think I have it, where
Yeah,
he bails
you're
a little bit
right.
too soon.
You're right. It's trust, and that's his blind side, and so those are the two highest percentages on his blind side. So
Yep.
he doesn't have the trust. He's a freshman quarterback, so his internal clock, I think, runs a little quicker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some
Yeah.
guys think, oh gosh, I got, I don't know, 3 seconds. I mean, he gets to three a lot quicker, and then he gets happy feet,
Right.
which is fine. That's I call him a freshman. He's fourth game. He's still a freshman.
So looking at pass block efficiency
Mm.
history compared to our prior years, we're
Hmm.
actually kind of around the line, man.
And
So
that's
the
going to get better.
backers,
Yeah.
the running backs have given up pressure. That's not a part of this. So running backs have given up at
Hmm.
least two or
Hmm.
three sacks. Barnes let one go, at least two. So there are sacks that are not embedded in this because it was not the O line's fault. But it is looking pretty good. Like this is as good as this 2019 is. We've looked at this before. That was where we graduated Brown and Powers and Samia. They all left, and we had redshirt sophomore Tyrese Robinson and Marquise Hayes all start for the first time. Creed started his first year, all on this. So it was a spike up where we turnover. But I'm still holding on to we've got a we got a great coach, we got veteran players. We're just gonna need to just take some time to figure it out. So, um, OC, this is just a look. I'm not gonna go through this real quick. I'm not gonna go through this, but um, this is all the O
Do,
line stats for all our opponents.
do you mind blowing up like the main one that shows? Yeah,
Sure.
all the teams. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do. There we go. So Oklahoma, we've ran a lot of zone. We're about a 60-40 gap in zone team, 60% zone, 40% gap. Um, that earlier in the year, we our gap plays percentage was lower than that. We sprinkled in a lot of that counter, which has helped Arnold with his counter read, that 47 yarder. So we're upping up on that. We've given up. This again is offensive line only. Let's see. Let's sort by sacks. We've given up 5 sacks, which is
Okay.
second most in the SEC.
Hmm.
South
Hmm.
Carolina is the worst. South Carolina is a mess. We've given up. Let's look at
Go to the
pressures.
total fails when you get a second.
Okay, yeah, total fails.
Because
So
yeah, I
total
feel like
fails.
we're middle of the pack,
We're
and
middle of the pack.
that doesn't concern me as much as we're. I mean, you can go from 30 to 38 there or whatever is middle of the pack. So
Yep,
it
exactly.
could be a lot worse. So
I think there's a lot of people are seeing these really bad sacks because they're timed bad. But like if you really look at it, it's one really bad sack and then usually really good string along of plays and then just a
mhm.
really bad like it is I think is a little bit more of just pre-snap communication, which we'll look at the film here in a minute. Just understanding like what positioning of the field, what are they trying to accomplish here at this spot? What's my formation? What am I trying to run? And seeing, just communicating across the line, everything. You've got a freshman quarterback and a freshman center. Those are the two most vital communicators on the field. Is those two spots. And so I think with a little bit more pre-snap communication, I don't really see them communicate a lot to begin with.
Right.
I don't really see them a whole bunch. I would like to see more, but I think it's just we're consistent and then boom, sack. We're
I
consistent and a sack.
hey, I think you've excluded Texas from your list there. That might have
Oh,
been
because I don't.
intentional, but I just thought
No,
I'd mention
they're
it.
down here.
Okay,
They're down here.
couldn't see him.
Yeah, I like to hide them. But anyway, so we're sitting in the middle of the pack on total
Hmm. Hmm.
fails. So that's about it for the O line. We've gone through some of the defense stuff. Let's see here. This thing's in the way. Oh, air show. So let's go to the passing game. This is where I a little concerned, but I've already kind of mentioned, they're trying to figure out their deep concept plays. If you're looking at air show, or what I call air show, this is passing game versus opposing defense's zone coverage. We've had 14 receptions for 126 yards and a reception percentage of 52%, which would be last in the SEC. I mean, not great.
Yeah, there's
And
no
then
way to get around that one. Yeah.
and then if you look at let's say any of these air show, our passing game versus opposing man coverage, we're a little bit better. Let's look at receptions. We are kind of in the middle of the pack with 7 with 127 yards. We do have a 78% reception percentage, which would put us around like on the top half of the
Mm-hmm.
SEC.
Mm-hmm.
But usually when I look at this stuff, I look at first downs because I feel like first downs is a great indicator of like how you're moving the ball. And again,
Mm-hmm.
we're not really moving the
Mm-hmm.
ball to the air on against man zone coverage. We got 5 first downs, second and last to the SEC. On man coverage, we've got 5 first downs, which puts us in the middle of the pack. Now, like I mentioned before, looking at like the deep concept plays, they've been trying to get the deep ball. They've messed around with a couple of concepts to try to get the ball out deep, and it's just we haven't the timing, the spacing. It's not a question if Arnold has the arm to do it, he does. It's not a question that the receivers beat the guys. They stack their corners, they get open. It's just spacing and timing. We're got to get that accuracy. It's going to take some reps. It's going to happen. Like like Arnold and his guys are going to get it figured out. It's not like last year where we had receivers beating corners and our quarterback just his limited arm talent couldn't get him the ball. So, for deep plays, we have 2 receptions for 80 yards. One of them was that Farouk pass, and we've got a 6.1 yards per route on plays over 20 yards, which is last in the SEC. Medium plays, these are 10 to 19 yards per route. We are last at 6.3. And short plays, 0 to 9 yards, we are last at 6.33.
Oof.
Yeah.
You're just full of good news.
Yeah. It's
It is what it is.
ah
We've seen it with
yeah.
our eyes, and you put it into numbers.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so this is the last slide I've got. This is the last tab. This is our offense. Now, I like this tab because there's a lot you could do with this. Right now I have it filtered on Tulane, and this is all our plays. We've got personnel grouping, we got the set, we got formation, backfield action, we got play concept. So we could see what offensive yards are gained, what offense yards gained by concepts. And in Tulane, we had quarterback run, right? 94 yards. Let me see if I zoom in. Uh, 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 there we go. Is that better?
Yep. Yep.
So 94 yards, quarterback run, counter. We had 50. Again, the first 2 games of the year, we ran counter. Yards gained was 28 total through 2 games.
Okay.
This last one, 50. So they're trying different things. They're trying to and becoming more effective with it. Flat routes, inside zone. I put these in families. We're more inside zone. I've only maybe seen one actual play of duo. Our backs. I told you this last year. Our backs are not really great at manipulating backers. So duo is a power concept, combo blocks, read the backer, make you want to he as a running back, you can force the backer, manipulate him into the wrong gap. And Tatum did it on his touchdown, or I think the one run near the red zone. He forced it. He maybe I could pull it up, but he forced the guy forced the backer to choose the wrong hole with his patience, and he cut, and he got a big play. But I put these in families. We run a lot of inside zone. We got screen game. Your passing game has been mostly stick, hitch, snag, curl, and over the ball route, which are all pretty much the same type of family of routes. It's run and then stop and turn around, or run and stop. They're curls.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't gotten to the point. We're not even running a whole lot of slants like that. That's, I mean, like we've ran like 3 slants all year.
I feel like that might have been intentional to keep Burks from getting killed because our depth is nothing.
Could be.
I mean, yeah. That's what I would do. Got to have one healthy starter over 4 or 5.
Yeah. The other play that they've worked in is the outside zone, getting guys to, again, take advantage. They've been running inside zone so much. They've got a lot of guys, opposing defenses are over pursuing. So now they've mixed up. They got the counter, which they got the counter read going with Arnold for 47 yards. Then they worked in the outside zone where they can they can read it and they cut it to the backside. Let everyone over pursue, and then you cut it. So they're slowly evolving it. They're getting it. But yeah, this has all of it. You can sort by first down, and you can see like what yards gained, what was our best first down. Here's that Arnold. It was formation to the boundary. It was ace twins. It was a read option, quarterback rush scramble, 47 yards.
That grade F there, boy, that stands out. That's funny.
Oh yeah, this one failed. Jackson Arnold intercepted. Okay, let's talk about the Jackson Arnold interception.
Okay.
Latrell called the exact same play twice in a row. It was the exact same play.
Yeah, it's not good.
Like literally exactly the same. They called it back because of a penalty. The only thing he changed was he changed the formation alignment. That's it. But they ran the exact same route pattern. So Tulane saw it and said, okay, we're going to send pressure here. So they sent pressure. Then Arnold, who just completed the pass that was turned back, lets it rip, but they changed their defense, interception, touchdown. I was like, why did he do that? Why did he not change the play?
And I want to say, Tatum missed his block assignment on that one, or that might have not happened either. So
Yep.
There's a lot that went wrong there.
So here, let's look at the season. We can look at the season here. So we've got 20% of our plays have been inside zone. Like 20% of every play that we've ran so far has been the same exact inside zone play. Now there's probably a few duo plays, probably like maybe 2. And then we've upped our counter. So our counter is now at 9% of our plays. But for the most part, like people want to say, is this vanilla? Are we playing vanilla? Yeah. Yeah, we're playing a little bit of vanilla. There's a little, but I don't think it's on purpose. I think we're just building out the offense week to week. 40% of our plays have been in ace twins. When I say ace twins, it's one tight end on the end line with 2 receivers outside, and twins. We've gotten to 3-by-1 Trey. Trey is a tight end split out to trips. And then we got 2-by-2 twins. That is no tight end. Or it could be a tight end out 2-by-2, but it's 2 receivers split out on either side. Trey ace, which I like, is when they've got either 2 or 3 tight ends on the end line. That's your 12 personnel and your 13 personnel. So anyway, I got that there so you can see like how many yards we've gained on each formation and yards gained on each play concept. And that's all I got for numbers.
Yeah, no, looking at some of those numbers, Tennessee just wants to put us in those situations where we're very low. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the obvious thing here is they're just going to try to force us to be where we're not comfortable. So hopefully we can dictate hopefully we can dictate things a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, because we haven't, it's just been trying to survive and, you know, have a few good possessions during the game. But hopefully we can at least, you know, make Tennessee react to us instead of the other way around this
Yep, yep.
coming week. We can get into that later in the week. But yeah, you got a few videos too of I think you said you had RMT and something else.
Yeah, yeah. Let's dive into it.
Let-
All right. So I just kind of took just a little bit of all kinds of stuff. There's miscues in here. There's some good plays in here. Um, and
It's
I've
great,
got
great camera angle you got here, man.
yeah, you like that?
Yeah, it's like
All
drone
right.
view.
So this is uh this is Bates. He got a bad snap here. He makes a wrong step and the guy makes him pay for it. He completely lost his base. He's getting I put this in here like after this play and this only play, I really didn't see a whole other like missteps from Bates. He's getting trashed right now on social media, and I think it's a little overboard because the guy is a freshman. I mean, 2 years ago he was
Yeah,
playing high
yeah,
school ball, and now him and he's got a freshman quarterback behind
yeah.
him too, and the two of them are having to be the most vital communicators on the field. But all in all, I think he's doing solid. I think he's got a huge upside for the future. But that was one of the miscues
Hmm.
there for the offense.
Yeah, and guess what, people? Creed Humphrey actually missed a few plays as a freshman as well. So
Yeah. So this is um this is Heath Ozida right here, and he is gonna get caught looking inside. And this is a just your classic. They're running cover one man most likely. I didn't really like. I know they're running man, but this is a 5-man pressure. This backer here, right here, is reading Gavin Salchuk. If he goes and pass protects, he's gonna become a pass rusher. If he pushes, he's going with him. But because Gavin pass protects, he now becomes a sixth rusher. And Heath Ozida gets caught looking inside. That is something you see on film. That is something that you can easily change. Don't get sucked into your pressure. You got to believe and think that you can get a pressure if your pass blocking running back is or if your running back's pass blocking. It's one of those read blitzes that defenses like to use. That's going to happen probably 2 or 3 times a game from now until the end of the season. So that was another miscue. This one here, this is a play that you and I saw a ton of with North Texas and Jake Roberts. This is Bauer Sharp. This is inside zone insert. So we're inserting the tight end into a block. It's a power play, and you've got we've only ran this. This is only the fourth time all year, but this is something that Jake Roberts and Seth Luttrell ran at North Texas probably like 15 times a game. And this is a play that Texas likes to use. That's one of their staple runs. Sarkisian loves his insert with his tight ends, but he's just going to come in. And everyone wants to talk about Bauer Sharp. He
mm,
he gets a good block here and pops it loose here. One of the things I like to see out of Bauer, I
that's a
don't
good
like.
block. That's a good block for Bauer.
It's a good block for Bauer. His eyes are down. His eyes are down, and he's on the inside the inside shade here of the. He needs to get his hat on the outside. He needs to keep his eyes up because like here's a. If I'm able to slow this back, you can see him. He literally is like looking down into the grass, and you
Mhm.
don't want to be looking down at the grass at any point in time. But I like myself some insert. I like that power option, especially when on a 3 down front. It's easy pickings. Tennessee runs a little bit of insert. They're more of a power ISO team. We'll talk about more of Tennessee's run game in a couple of days. Let's see. I don't remember what play this is. I have to look it back here. Oh, this is the counter
This is
read.
Tatum. Yep.
No, this is Arnold's
Oh.
takeoff.
I was watching Tatum the whole time. I
Yeah.
even got
So
faked out on that play
yeah,
myself. That's great. That's great.
cameraman. Yeah. So you got the pull path here, much tighter to the line of scrimmage, symmetrical. That's something that Tarquin really struggles. He when Tarquin he more bananas. He makes a little banana with his blitz, or sorry, with his pull path, and they're running this counter much more effective because of this pull path, and they're getting better down blocks, and because of that, turning Jackson Arnold loose, it's so easy. Look, this guy's not even looking at Arnold. He's looking at.
Mhm.
I mean, like they're all flowing. Like
Yep. Wow.
look. He's like they're
Yeah.
all crashing down, and you got to take advantage of that that backside pursuit. It was happening on inside zone. It was happening constantly. Great counter. Great call by Latrell. So here's, I think this is the interception. So this is the play I was
The
telling
play before.
you
Mhm.
way before. So again, all they're doing is these are all over the ball routes. They're putting three over the ball routes over the ball, so he can pick and choose where can I go? Where can I go? So he throws it to Burks, done. Gets called back. We replay. Same exact concept. Boom, boom. But look, defense playing it different. They blitzed, and then he gets caught
Mhm.
looking at
Mhm.
Burks, trying to going through the motions, touchdown. And this is another look at it. So again, there's all these over the ball routes, these little snags. There's a snag. There's a little over the ball route, and he just chucks it.
Yeah. Great play by Grubbs there.
Yeah, I mean defense.
Good linebacker. Yeah.
Here's another miscue. Backer missing his block. I mean,
Mhm.
they slid protection they did a slide, and then they isolate, and backer needs to come in. Backer
Yeah.
miscommunication. There's a sack. Miscue. It's a miscue, but this stuff is correctable. Very correctable. This isn't the guys are just getting manhandled and guys are just getting tossed to the
Yeah.
ground and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
He ran right by the guy he was supposed to block, basically.
Right. So here's a play. This is one of
Oof.
our outside zone. Look at this hole here.
Mhm.
Look at this
Mhm.
cut. Look at that. I mean, he- Ozida, great block. Great block. You just take him for a ride. Sexton over here just driving his dude. You gotta seal. What's that guy from the Packer? You gotta seal here. You gotta seal here. But our backer, you know, I, I get it. It's
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
zone. I get it that it's off tackle, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter. There's an open hole right there. Cut it and go. Turn it loose. I don't remember which one this one was. Let me see. Oh, okay. So this one is my example of JFA putting himself into pressure. This is self pressure. So I want you see Ozada here. He's giving ground. He technically lost this rep, but he resets his anchor. He resets it and he corrects it. And if you watch here, he stonewalls the guy. Stonewalls him. He's not going anywhere. He's got him locked down. But if you back it up just a little bit more and pause it, look at that. You got a guy coming open across the middle. You've got a running hole here. He just takes off. If he just waited for just a
Yeah.
split second, he would have had Bauer Sharp open, and he would have had all this green grass to his left. He could have easily slipped out and take off. Or if he just stayed in the pocket or just moved his platform instead of just bailing, just took a few steps to his right, believed in his athleticism to know if there was something he could take off, he would have had an open pass instead. His eyes go to the sideline and he takes off and he doesn't have a pass.
Mhm.
Miscue, Just a little miscue. This is here's that again that post wheel. They put a little corner on here, but this is just a great run by Arnold, who just,
Mhm.
hey, I'm just gonna take off, and he just says, hey, I'm gonna go score.
Yeah, huge
I'm just,
play. Huge play.
oh yeah, huge play. I love these angles, man. You
Yeah,
see so much
it
better.
was funny when he was running that. I felt like he should have just kept on going to his left, and he decided to cut it back in, made it work. But
Yeah. So now let's go into the defense. Um, this is just the interception, tons of pressure, tip drill, and Billy Bowman finds the ball again. Like that guy is a ball magnet. Like the ball just like gravitates to his hands. Okay, let's get into this is fourth quarter. This is the fourth quarter takeover of RMT. R Mason Thomas just decides this quarter is
yeah,
mine, game is mine, game over.
hey, let me go get my popcorn real quick. Just a second.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
So here he is over here. Watch his hands. Watch this left hand. His left hand's gonna come in and he's just gonna he gonna let this tackle touch him. Goodbye. End of story. So easy.
Mm.
Little swipe there. All it took was one little swipe and he was gone. Here he is over here. I don't remember this play. Yeah, this is his batted pass. This again, PFF doesn't count this as a pass rush win. I do because this is a dead play by an edge. Done. Cha-ching. Easy. Okay, so now you got PJ on the left. You got R. Mason Thomas on the right. You
Mm.
got Trace Ford in the A gap. You've got the
I
nose
like this
tackle.
look. Is this the package? The package that
Um,
they're calling? What's the name?
nah, yeah, SWAT.
Thank
SWAT.
you. Yeah.
I always called it NASCAR when you get three. I
Yep.
mean, yeah, because you got three defensive ends. I would like to see them put four, but yeah, this
Hmm.
is your SWAT package. You got you put your three best pass rushing defensive ends out there. You always have, but you also is that Holton? Oh, that's Halton. So yeah, you got your
That's
four
your
best passers.
that's
Yeah,
your
that's
best
Halton.
pass rushers. Yep.
Done right there. So yeah,
Yep.
that's your SWAT. And what I liked about
Oh,
this rep,
yeah.
he gets chipped.
Hmm.
Like this is not supposed to work. So Tulane made an adjustment. We're gonna take our tight end and we're gonna chip him. We're gonna expand his arc so he can't. If I chip him out here, now he has more grass to work on, and we should not see him. And it gives your left tackle more space to operate, be able to set his feet and get his right angle. But our Mason Thomas said, "Screw all y'all. You guys ain't gonna be able to push me around." And he gets little chip and he goes,
Hmm.
still same swipe action, takes that left arm, swipes it away. He's strong, man. Those are
He is.
powerful hands.
He's
Those are
gained
powerful hands.
he's gained 40 pounds since he stepped on campus.
I was gonna say he looks like Obo,
40
but he moves.
pounds.
He
Yes.
looks like Oberwonkwo. Like
Yep.
he is playing much bigger than I've
Hmm.
seen him. So here again, you got Grayson Holton right here. You've got Trace Ford. You've got looks like Keaton Woolard and RMT over here on the left side. Oh, it's that same. Oh no, this is the his strip sack. Now what I liked
He
about this
almost had a scoop and score. He almost
come
scooped
in,
that up and took off to the end zone. Yeah.
see the little he did this.
Mm.
He did the same thing with his left hand, but then he ripped with his right. There's a dip and the right rip, boom, finish the play, scoop, and
Mhm.
oh,
Mhm.
would have had
Mm.
it, man. Would have had it. Man, I've like you said, I haven't seen
Mm-mm.
a player who would just fourth quarter, I'm
No.
taking over.
That was the
Oh,
Thomas takeover.
it's
That was the Thomas takeover.
yep.
That's what we're calling that the rest of the year, the Thomas takeover.
We named this episode Tulane Beignet Beatdown. Armis and Thomas is over there eating beignets. Like
That's right. That's right.
he took care of business, man, and it is awesome to see
Yeah.
an edge on this defense
Mhm.
because we know what happens with Britt Venerable's defenses when they have edge rushers.
Oh
We've
yeah,
seen how good they are. That
yeah,
we
and
they win national championships. So
yeah, yeah. RMT, we're giving him some love. I will say PJ's PJ's getting more snaps, and I like that because I think he just needs more live game reps. Man,
he's
if you could book in those guys, if a light comes on with PJ, then I pity the offenses that we're going to face because those guys will bring it.
yep. And both these guys have the bend in the ankle, bend in the hips. They have that flexion to turn a corner. And if you got those guys that can turn a corner, we just need to get them the opportunity to build a pass rush plan through the game.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have them tee off. You got to get them an opportunities to tee off. And this would be fantastic if we've got two edge rushers that can pass rush because we already went through. We got some good DBs. We've got a backer who's becoming a legend. That's a really stout defense.
Yeah,
Very stout.
yeah, and yeah, and I know
Tennessee. Whew.
we'll have our Tennessee preview. We'll talk about the keys to the game. We'll talk about all that here, in the next few days. But yeah, you're right. If we can get some pass rush, we have to make Nico uncomfortable early. That's all I'm going to say before we have our
Yep.
preview.
Yeah.
That's
We're gonna for our preview. We'll have some stats for our preview. We're gonna have some film of Tennessee versus
mhm,
Alabama back in
mhm.
22.
Yep.
So we can see what their first win on Alabama for 15 years. We've got end zone cam and all 22 of that. We can just go look through some of the run game plays. I got one run game play per play. So like we can look at what their runs are. We can look at what some of the passing concepts, and then we've got a little bit of them playing NC State. It's almost not you these early games, you could watch them as much as you want. It's not going to be the offense that
You
comes
can.
in. They they,
Mm-mm.
they ran so vanilla. I watched through it and it was just sort of vanilla. So yeah, we'll have an episode of that hopefully dropped on Thursday or so, but it'll definitely be before the game day, and we'll take a look at what this defense and showdown, Venables, Josh Heupel. Oh,
Yeah.
this is.
Oof.
Ooh, I
It's
can't
good.
wait.
It's good. I can't wait either. Yeah, and it's not good. It's going to take these pass rushers. It's going to take me, you, and the other 85,000 people there for 4 quarters to make
Gotta
that
be
happen.
loud.
So,
Gotta
yeah,
be loud.
absolutely. Yeah,
If you need some liquid courage, go to 90s Liquor
that's right.
and get yourself go say hi to Zach and get some Woodworks
Hmm.
Distillery.
Hmm.
It's okay to be a little bit loose and go into the game and be super, super loud. Don't be afraid to stand and yell either. Everyone, we can stand. Don't get upset with people standing on third down. Let's be loud. Let's be loud. Now we
That's
don't need to
right.
be obnoxious, but let's be loud.
Little obnoxious
a
toward the
little,
Tennessee fans is fine. I'm fine with
a
that,
little, a
man.
little, a little. We're
They need to feel like they're in hostile territory, man. No, no, it's going to be great. I know we're both look forward to it, and everyone else is. So, uh, yeah, let's wrap things up.
yeah.
I guess we'll just catch y'all later in the week, and we'll break down Tennessee and our first SEC conference home game ever.
Whew.
Yeah.
Let's do
All
it.
right. Yep. We'll see y'all later in the week. Boomer Sooner. Take care.